Hey y'all, how are you guys doing? Thank you for coming back to Kimmy's Closet. Yes, if you have read the title to this video that made you click on this video, you already know where I'm gonna go with this. It's unfortunate, but we must address this because I do believe in full transparency, and when I get updates, when I know, you know. Okay, before I begin, I first want to thank everyone, every single person who took the time to watch my video. A special shout out again to Miss Dazzle Me 77, Miss Shonda, who was so kind enough to mention me on her YouTube page and encourage people to watch my first video. And for that, I am very grateful. I told her, like, you didn't even have to do that, but you did. And for that, I'm very grateful. I want to thank everyone who left a comment, who was very encouraging, very kind, congratulated me on getting this bag, encouraging me and congratulating me on starting this channel. And for that, I truly and genuinely thank you because um, for some people, it's easy to do this. And for someone like me, who I'm a very big introvert, as you can see, I'm not shown in the camera, I may warm up to doing so. But I just wanted to share my love of bags, and I thought I came across a really, really good deal. Keyword thought. Now, another special shout out to two individuals. First, Leah, I believe her name is Leah Beauty 16. Um, I will have her tagged in the video as well as her handle should be in the description. And Mr. Brantley Willis, as they were the first two to mention that, hey, you might want to get that authenticated. You might want to check that based on some of the things that they saw, based on the stitching, the leather itself. Um, Brantley Willis specifically mentioned the dust bag, right? That he mentioned, okay, that does not look like an authentic dust bag. So when I first read them, I said, okay, well, only thing I did, just being completely transparent, I was so wrapped up in the excitement of it that when I received the bag, I just went ahead and I looked inside. Here, let me take out this stuffing. I saw stamping on the inside. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Hopefully that captures that. I also saw the stamping on the inside of this, the branding on the zipper pull. And then when I opened it up, I looked inside for a date code because I hear that's what every bag is supposed to have. I know the newer bags have the computer chips or the little chip inside, but as this is an older style, I am searching for this tag. Here we go. Had to find it. Came with a little date code on the leather tag. So because I saw a date code, I went to two different websites and it looked like it was a valid date code. The date code, I can remember it. It is FL0141, which I think it means it was supposed to be made in France in 2011 in April, I believe. Yeah, I think that's how it breaks down. So when I first got the bag, mind you, full transparency, though I have been researching the brand and looking at different styles all throughout the year, I know I liked this particular style, but I had not seen any black multicolor bags in person. I have seen one multicolor bag, excuse me, and it was in the white multicolor, and it was the Ursula bag. And to be honest, I didn't even really inspect it. I was shown it by a lady in a consignment store, but I didn't want to waste her time, her pulling out the bag for me to look at it because it wasn't the color nor the style I wanted. So I really couldn't tell a difference or feel the difference and what would be authentic and what would not be authentic. So cut to the chase, it's not an authentic bag. Based on the comments that I was getting throughout the week, it really dawned on me, like, Kim, you never did get this authenticated. I admit I again was wrapped up in the excitement, my ignorance to this particular collection and what would be deemed as real or not, being able to tell by appearances. Also, I took her at her word, which you really shouldn't do. I don't know why I did that. She was adamant that this was in fact authentic. As I mentioned in my story time, she said she got it from the Scottsdale Louis Vuitton boutique, as that's the only one that's near any of us where I live, and it was sitting in her closet. I, at the time, didn't have any reason to not believe her. My husband asked several times before he called me. I asked her on the video call when she was holding the bag up, and he asked her again. So I want to say between the two of us, we've asked a total of 4 or 5 times, and every time she was adamant. Yes, it's authentic. Yes, it's real. Yes, it's real. And then also, this is an impulse buy, right? And I say that because I didn't have time to do the research. I'll be honest, if I were there in person, I still would have gotten it because, again, I don't know the difference in this collection between what is authentic and what is not authentic. And yeah, I guess it was just the thrill of possibly getting an authentic Louis Vuitton bag for such a great deal. And I didn't think it was outside the realm of possibility because I've watched various videos on YouTube, or I've encountered people that had amazing deals. Like, they thrifted authentic Louis Vuitton pieces. They were gifted authentic vintage Louis Vuitton pieces from people that just no longer wanted them, or they paid little to nothing. So I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I thought it was my turn. I thought it was in the cards for me to get it. But I want to thank everyone who suggested getting it authenticated, or who suggested that, which is what I did. So again, when I read the comments, I said, okay, yeah, this is a sign. I need to to do this. So obviously, if people who do know the Louis Vuitton brand or do own pieces from this collection, one comment in particular, there was several, but first from Brantley Willis, the first thing he mentioned is, yeah, I don't think the vachetta is right. It doesn't look vachetta leather, which, why didn't I think of that? Because I do own vachetta leather bags from Dooney and a couple of other brands. So if one thing I do know is leather, why did I not see or feel that this was not leather? This actually has a very we see it has the ripples in it. Like, it's not thick and smooth. You don't see like the glazing you're supposed to see on the side. It's just not real. It's just not real. Now, I will admit, I looked at the way the stitching was supposed to be, like on the chap. Supposed to be the 3 studs. I counted the number on the turn lock, the right stamping, even on the bottom. So you see this bottom panel here, right? I went down the rabbit hole. I went to look for various pictures of bags online that were being sold from resale sites, different resale platforms that were authenticated, that they're supposed to be authentic bags, and where the feet are like within the pattern, that's correct. But one thing I did notice is, even though this is called multicolor, it should have been called technicolor, because the real ones, which I didn't look at it with a more meticulous eye, but the pattern here is very muted. And I am filming with natural sunlight, high natural sunlight at that. So it might actually look even more dull in person than it does on camera. But the pattern on the real ones are so vibrant. It may look a little muted on some of the pieces on the white multicolor, because I think it's supposed to give a more soft effect. But against the black, everyone I've seen had much more vibrant pattern than this one. But I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place, y'all, because I want to just help break down how I came to this conclusion. But the dust bag, let's start with that. The dust bag. So Brantley Willis mentioned the dust bag does not look authentic. I was like, not even the dust bag? But I admit, when you see it, you can't unsee it. Now that I know, it's like, girl, why didn't you know any better? But I didn't know. One thing about it is you don't know what you don't know, but if you knew better, you do better. And I know now. I know now. So what I noticed is the font. The font is nothing like it's supposed to be. Now, Louis Vuitton bag, the dust bag, and I'm just saying this, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this, but I'm making this video not only for the people who were so kind to watch my first video and to the ones who were concerned and urged me to get this authenticated, but for those who are like myself that aren't well versed in luxury, especially Louis Vuitton. You know, I want the lesson that I learned to help somebody else. So, number one, do not buy impulsively. Do not buy impulsively. I don't care if it's a deal of a lifetime. I don't care if, oh, you got to buy it now. Three other people are looking at it. Well, let them look at it. If they buy it, it's for them. You know, you don't want to feel pressured. And I didn't feel necessarily pressured, but I did, know two other women were looking at it, and I didn't want FOMO. I didn't want the fear of missing out on this once in a lifetime bag. But I'll tell you this much. Suffering from FOMO feels a lot better than suffering from buyer's remorse, and that's how I feel right now. But hey, we learn. So back to the dust bag. The dust bag is not how it's supposed to be. Even the material, like now that I look at it, look at this. Louis Vuitton would never. Louis Vuitton would never have this on the edge. Now, my silly self, I'm like, well, this is an older bag. Maybe this isn't a dust bag that came with the real one. Maybe it's from a different bag, because I do know Louis Vuitton has two types: this envelope style bag and the drawstring bag. My husband, he's used to seeing drawstring bags on a lot of the bags I own, which are Coach, Dooney, Michael Kors, MCM, stuff like that. But I did tell him, I'm like, well, no, Louis Vuitton has envelope bags as well. Like this style does come from Louis Vuitton. But once I saw his comment and he said that Louis Vuitton dust bag is not authentic, or does not look authentic, then I go to the trusty source of YouTube and I look up videos of what makes an authentic Louis Vuitton dust bag. Now, one thing I didn't know was, well, number one, the material would be far more superior quality than this. I don't know what this is, but this is not cotton. This is not cotton. I don't even know if this is a cotton blend, to be honest with y'all. It looks more like a polyester. But inside the dust bag, which this one obviously does not, because it's not real, but this should have somewhere in the inner corner, somewhere along this part, there will be a tag that reads 100% cotton, made in India. To my knowledge, I think that's the only place that they're made. I think it might also be made in Spain, not sure. But the point is, they will have a tag stating its material, which is 100% cotton. And I think it also has either the style number or the date code also on the tag, which this did not. So when I first looked at that, I said, this is not looking too good. But I continued, right? So I said, okay, dust bag, clearly not real. Clearly not real. All right. We move forward. Now, okay, number one. Look at this. Look at how flat this is. Right now, I put stuffing in it to give it shape, but I don't believe with this shape, with this style at least, it's supposed to be given shape. This has no shape. Now, I will say that the interior feels nice, and the canvas does not feel bad by any other standard, but this is not Louis Vuitton standard. As I mentioned, the leather is not real leather. Miss Leah Beauty 16 mentioned the chains. Now, what I was doing in the comparisons is that this has the same amount of numbers on the links, the same type of shape on the links, but I don't know if it's supposed to sound quite like this. I'm not sure. Appropriate stamping, but it's off. It's not as crisp as it should be on the stamping. Also, as I shown in the interior pocket, this says Louis Vuitton, Paris, made in France. Hopefully you guys can see that right there. But if you know Louis Vuitton, then you can see that the impression is not deep enough, nor is the font correct. Also on the date code. Initially, as I said, I went on 2 different websites, look up the date code, mention it was a valid date code. they will put real date codes on fake bags. And even on the website, it mentioned, hey, this is just a resource. This does not solidify or confirm that it is a real bag simply by looking at the date code, which I understood. So I went to a purse forum and a Reddit thread for authentication. Came across a company called realauthentication.com, had pretty good reviews, and I decided to go with them. So I signed up, I took all the photos that they requested and waited for my results. And it in fact came back as fake. This is not authentic. I'm sorry, excuse me. The appropriate term is counterfeit. This is a counterfeit piece, as in not authentic, for the very reasons that a lot of you in the comments have mentioned. Stamping, stitching, just overall inferior quality, not real leather. So yeah, I took a double L on this one, y'all. Double L for lesson learned, or you live and learn. And it's just a chance you take. It's the risk you take when you don't buy from the store. Now, don't get me wrong. I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed in finding out that this was not real. See, I have to hold it up, y'all, because look how look how slouchy it is. It's crazy that I didn't see it like this sooner. I mean, not just in this state, but I didn't see it sooner. But again, I don't know what I don't know. So I want to thank you guys that took the time to say, hey, and one person was really sweet. She's like, I do own some multicolored pieces. And even if, let's say this was a real Louis Vuitton dust bag, right? Let's say this plain dust bag was in fact authentic. That was not the dust bag that came with this collection. And I totally believe that, because I would think with a limited edition collection or a special collection such as this is an iconic collection, that it would have a different type of dust bag to come with it. And she mentioned it. And she said, I just don't want to steal your joy. I just wanted to mention it. I said, not at all. I appreciate you guys. To everyone who mentioned it, I thank you. I took no offense whatsoever to that. None whatsoever, because I appreciate it. And that's what I like about this purse community, is that this is the transparency. Like, if you get a bag on sale, you're like, hey, you can get it from this website, but you can really save some money, go over here. Or, hey, you see my bag? This is a if you know piece. Hit me up on Instagram. I tell you where I got it. So because I appreciate transparency so much in these videos, I'm definitely going to give it back. So I just wanted to do this update. I want to let you guys know, yes, I've read all of your comments, and if I haven't yet responded to you, I'm sorry, I've just been a little busy. I'm definitely going to respond to you. I thank every single one of you that watched my video, that gave me encouragement, comments, constructive criticism, suggestions when it came to this bag. And it led me to do the much needed research that I should have done in the beginning. I just took her at her word. And I think that's the part that I don't like, is that you didn't have to lie, ma'am. You didn't have to lie. I don't know if she was lied to. She could have been gifted this and was told it was real. But more than likely she knew. She knew. And that's why she sold it for what she sold it for. The thing is, she could have just kept it real. I admit, I wouldn't have bought it because I wanted my first piece to be real. And it's no shade to replicas, because I do watch replica videos. I watch the ones that are super fakes. I watch authentic videos. I've yet to buy a replica bag knowingly. This is my first. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I just wanted my first piece, no matter what collection it was from, to be authentic. And then maybe later, if it was a style that I wanted to try out, I would get it that way. And I want to take people at their word. She was adamant. And then I also assumed, because of the environment of which I bought it, granted it was a yard sale, but because of the area I bought it in, it led me to believe that the likelihood of it being authentic was, highly likely, because it was an affluent area. But just because you have money doesn't mean you're not going to dibble and dabble in the replicas. In fact, a lot of the the rich people do that because they want to keep their money, and I totally appreciate that. But just keep it real. So, um, I believe Lisa Brown in the comments, she left an incredibly kind comment saying, whether it's authentic or a dupe, it's the thought that counts. It's a beautiful bag, and girl, you should wear that, and rep it and all of that. And I totally appreciate that. Where am I at now with this bag? That's the question. This experience, not gonna lie, has left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm gonna go on the suggestion of Miss Leah Beauty 16, where of course, always get a piece authenticated, especially Louis Vuitton. It's one of the, if not the most replicated brand out there. So I don't know why I didn't think to get this authenticated first. But I don't know, because I was misled, I don't want to keep it. My husband feels bad. I told him it's not his fault whatsoever. I didn't know much about this collection or what to look for, and he knows even less. He was just doing a really sweet gesture for me, which I still appreciate. And I'm still keeping that video up because it's my first video, and I just remember the excitement that I felt for it. And I will feel that excitement again for another bag, and it will be authentic. But if I am at a point right now, and keyword right now, my mind may change, but unless I get any brand from the store, I probably won't get it on resale or yard sales or anything like that. So I don't know. I just wish he would have been more upfront. And I guarantee you someone would have bought this bag. Someone else would have bought this bag gladly and happily and said, yeah, I'm going to sport this. This is fine. But I did get it authenticated. Once again, it is in fact counterfeit. I wanted to give you guys an update. I learned my lesson on buying impulsively. I took a chance, and I can't be too upset because of the amount that I paid. Don't get me wrong. I can take that 150 and put it somewhere else. But I have heard stories of those who have paid much more than I paid, and unfortunately and unknowingly bought a replica bag. Some instances they get their money back, and on others they don't. And that's a shame that people will go to the length to mislead people for the sake of a sale. It's not necessary, and it's definitely unethical. But I just wanted to give you this update. Sad face, but it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna move on. Hopefully you guys still stick with me on this bag journey. I have many other bags, authentic. May not be Louis Vuitton, but I have plenty of other bags that are either on the super affordable side or the contemporary side, which is what I'm a lot more accustomed to. And who knows, y'all? Who knows? There may be a video sooner than later, and I might have an authentic piece before you guys. It may not be this collection, may not be this bag, but it's okay. Someone asked me, by the way, hey, if you had the opportunity to get this bag again, but authentic, would you be willing to get it? And the funny thing is, the answer to that is no. The one thing that this experience did do for me, is I think I coveted and I was so excited about a bag like this because I didn't have anything with this print, with this type of feel. Granted, this is inferior quality. This is not a real Louis bag, but would I think it's worth it for me to pay thousands just to get this bag again? But authentic, the answer is no. It kind of scratched this itch for me to have a Louis bag, and though not real, it kind of calmed that down. So now I don't feel so anxious to want to get one now. And it's not a bad thing. It just, the novelty wore off. That's what I want to say. The novelty of it wore off for me, despite this transaction and what happened. But I think we do that with a lot of bags, don't we? We have this bag in mind. We put it on a pedestal. It's high in our list. We get it, or at least something close to it, and then the excitement wears off. And I think that's the cycle a lot of us bag lovers go through. We go through that. If we could just get this bag and just add it to our collection, if I can just get this. And it ends up not being what you think it is. Replica or not, I've had bags that I coveted. I wanted a particular style. I wanted to get this color, this silhouette, and I got it, and it's in my closet, either never worn or hardly worn. So I guess for that reason, because I have a good amount of bags, that may be why I'm not inclined to spend a lot on any one particular bag. But now that this is off my list, now that I've dealt with this, I have the excitement of now having a new unicorn bag in my collection. By the way, I don't know, this is just a little tidbit here having to do with the Murakami, but I read the comments in a recent video of the handbag housewife about why, and even in luxury community, the Marc Jacobs tote bag and Longchamp are acceptable, you know? And to answer that question, I believe it's a simple classic design that everyone wants to use. That's why it's so popular. And it's durable in a variety of materials. But someone in the comments mentioned that Marc Jacobs, for the 40th anniversary, is supposed to be doing a collaboration with Murakami, right? And I'm just putting it out there. I truly hope that there's going to be a multicolored tote bag, because that's going to be the tote bag that's going to set it off for me. That's going to be something from that collection that I will buy. It's not guaranteed to be a bag. The other drops he's had are either the lipsticks. I think with Pharrell Williams, the upcoming one will be eyewear. He's released a varsity jacket. I'm so into the tote bag, I forgot Marc Jacobs even sells other items. So I'm just so stuck on the tote bag and finding the perfect one. But if they do a collab on a handbag, especially the tote bag, baby, you're going to see a video with a real Murakami piece with Marc Jacobs. And I'm going to get it before it sells out. I'm not going to miss out on that one. But yeah, let me let y'all go. But I just wanted to let you guys know about the bag. Thank you guys once again. Thank you for staying tuned. Hey, we learned a lesson here today. I know I did for sure. And we continue to keep going on our bag journey. Much love to you guys. Thank you. And I'll see you guys next time.